Bienvenue à tous. Welcome to Reporters here on France 24. I'm Mark Owen. In this edition, how Iraq's army is making headway against the Islamic State jihadists. Our team has been to Ramadi, recently recaptured by the Baghdad forces. Experts believe this could be a turning point in the battle to defeat the jihadists, though all expect the final victory to take more time and, sadly, much more suffering. Our eyewitness report from Ramadi is by James Andre, Amma Al-Hamadawi and Khalil Bashir.
These men are fresh from fighting on the front line against the Islamic State group in the battle to take back Ramadi. General al-Assadi has come in person to congratulate them. This elite unit of the Iraqi anti-terrorist forces is nicknamed the Golden Brigade.
The fighting to come will be easier, and you can win. IS was very strong until this battle, and despite that, you succeeded in defeating them in just a few days. We did lose some men, but our sacrifice is nothing compared to what this victory represents.
Ramadi is liberated but in ruins. It was Iraq's third city, home to 500,000 residents. Now, it's a ghost town. IS mines and coalition bombs have razed entire neighborhoods. All the bridges over the Euphrates River have been destroyed. The army has had to deploy this temporary structure for troops to cross. Reconstruction will cost billions of euros. The army now controls almost all of the city, but there are still pockets of IS militants holding out in the northern suburbs. The jihadists carried out a scorched earth strategy as they fled. The danger now comes from what they've left behind. Major Mohammed was one of the first soldiers to enter the city. He knows Islamic State group's methods very well.
This tunnel leads to the house on the other side of the street. They've dug hundreds of tunnels like this one under the city. Some of them look like they've been designed by architects. They're built so that the fighters can stay underground for hours. They can eat, sleep, and even prepare attacks and make mines down there. Some chambers are the size of entire houses. Look at all this destruction. Look at how the terrorists have wrecked these civilian houses. Look, everything is ransacked. Come and have a look around here. They've smashed a hole in the wall. That enables them to move from one house to the next, undetected. This one's also booby-trapped. See those jerry cans over there? They're filled with high explosives. There's enough in those 3 jerry cans to level the house. They can explode at the slightest glitch. But we know how to take care of these traps.
The jihadists have left the city rigged with mines and booby traps. Soldiers have already recovered tons of explosives and ammunition. This stockpile is due for destruction.
We found these weapons all over the city, even in markets and mosques. For example, we found these mortar shells inside the main mosque. And here you see weapons that were given to the jihadists. They come from abroad. They were bought by a foreign country. The Iraqi army doesn't have this kind of weapon.
The explosives in this courtyard are a minute part of what the Islamic State group has hidden around the town. The UN estimates that clearing Ramadi of mines will cost 12 million euros. Bomb disposal experts are working relentlessly so the population can return. Today, they are sweeping this district for bombs. Major Mohammed supervises operations.
The bomb in this house can be defused, but the one in that house on the other side of the street is sophisticated. We need to blow it up.
The bomb disposal expert is a local Sunni tribesman. He fears reprisals and so doesn't want to show his face on camera. He's working on a group of houses that were occupied by IS leaders. Since they fled, no one dares approach the area.
Look, there's a pressure plate under the charge.
The explosive can't be moved. so it has to be destroyed.
All right, you move back. Move back. You move back.
Mines are one of the major causes of casualties in the war against IS. This house is booby-trapped. This wire triggers the bomb. There's enough C4 explosive hidden under this mattress to level the entire house. Any false move could be fatal. The booby trap in this house is diffused. Next door, it's a different matter.
In this house, there's what we call a spider's web trap. I can't defuse it. I have to blow it up. There's no other option. If I cut any of the wires in there, the whole thing will explode. This isn't the only one. There are dozens of houses that are rigged this way. They do that because they know houses like these often belong to police or army officers. They use sophisticated traps to kill security forces. It's also to break the homeowner's morale.
In the areas that have been made safe from bombs, a clear-up operation is underway. Nearly 100 volunteers are busy picking through this downtown neighborhood.
It's been a month since we started clearing out the rubble. We've already done 3 districts. These guys are volunteers. They're all from the Ramadi province. They're working so that people can come home quickly.
But clearing this devastated city will take more than just a few spades and wheelbarrows. The hospital, train station and university have been destroyed. Electricity and sanitation networks badly damaged. Meanwhile, the army is getting ready to hand the city back to the police. Security in town is to be controlled by the sheikhs from local Sunni tribes. They want to create 3 safe access points.
Of course, infiltrators are a risk, but we know for sure that when they see what the Commission plans to implement, they won't even think about trying to enter the city. Terrorists always search for weaknesses, and if they see that searches are thorough, they will give up.
Since being driven out of Ramadi, IS fighters have been targeting army positions outside the city. The road to Baghdad is no longer safe, so we have to take a helicopter to the capital. In these huge refugee camps, the people of Ramadi are waiting to return to their homes. They're trapped here. The Bzabes Bridge is now their only way into Baghdad, and getting permission to cross isn't easy.
Okay, come on. I'm in the queue to do the paperwork, so I can come and get you. There are just 3 or 4 people in front of me.
Musleh has come to pick up his brother, a truck driver who got stuck in an area under IS control.
Our situation is truly catastrophic. His truck has been stuck over there for 8 months. The goods he was transporting have gone off. IS stopped him from leaving, and he has no papers to come over to this side. I have to be here to vouch for him.
Behind the counter, soldiers and intelligence officers scrutinize every applicant.
These papers proves he lives in Baghdad. There is an ID card, proof of address, and a ration book. We register him so he can return. We check names and papers so that terrorists can't infiltrate the rest of the country.
Musleh's brother is free to go, but thousands of families waiting on the other side of the bridge are less fortunate.
We've been here for 20 days. Those who know the right people can get through, but the others don't. We have sick people here, people with diabetes or high blood pressure, and we don't have any tents to sleep in.
We've been here for 25 days. There's no room for us to sleep in the camp. A family let us stay in their kitchen, but we are too exhausted, too devastated. We can't take it anymore. We were told, you're from Anbar province. You can't go through. Those who know people can cross. All we have is God on our side.
We got here with the help of smugglers, across the desert. I don't know which road we took. The cars left in the night and they dropped us here. It cost a lot of money. For my family, I paid $7,000.
While the displaced suffer in the camps, politicians are maneuvering in Baghdad. Today, Prime Minister al-Abadi is meeting Al-Anbar's main Sunni tribal leaders. Their distrust towards the Shia-dominated government in Baghdad runs high. The unity of Iraq is at stake.
We need to leave our religious and community ties behind us. Iraqi society is composed of many ethnic groups, ideologies, and communities. And we cannot afford to let one group dominate the others.
Since Ramadi was retaken, many Sunni sheikhs who backed the Islamic State group see that the tide is turning. The question in the Sunni camp now is what to do with them.
What happened in our cities is horrible. The crimes that our brothers, our cousins, our neighbors, our acquaintances have perpetrated are atrocious. How many heads were cut off? How many limbs severed? How many corpses were burnt and profaned? For the love of God, how can we ever reconcile?
The problem is not how to retake ground, but how to hold it. The tribal leaders of the western region must hold assemblies and hold their hands out in reconciliation for those who don't have Iraqi blood on their hands.
Sheikh Abu Nimr is one of Al-Anbar's most powerful Sunni leaders. IS militants have massacred many members of his family because he refused to pledge allegiance to the organization.
We know exactly who backed IS and who fought IS. Those who collaborated now want to jump on the bandwagon and say they're against terrorism. If these political differences can't be resolved, then problems will continue even after IS is forced out.
As it loses tribal backing, the Islamic State group is slowly growing weaker in Iraq. Iraqi forces have opened new front lines, such as Samara or here in Amiriyat al-Fallujah, where the army, backed by mainly Sunni volunteers, has advanced 5 kilometers in 2 days. Retaking Ramadi is a landmark victory and a turning point in this war. The campaign to eradicate the Islamic State group will be long and bloody, but a crucial step has been taken.
Our reporter, James Andre, is here in the studio. James, welcome back, and thank you so much for that report. Tell us more about what the jihadists have done to the city of Ramadi.
Well, what they've done is they've really not only destroyed it, in a sense. Now, it's important to note that a lot of those buildings that have fallen with the bombs of the coalition. I mean, it is said that nearly 12,000 bombs were dropped on that city. So, of course, that will have done a lot of damage. But what they've done is that they've made it impossible for population to come back into the city quickly. There are bombs in virtually every house, under every street. There are tunnels under the houses now, which, of course, have made the structures less solid. They've really massively damaged that city, and most of the infrastructure is also destroyed. So it's going to take a long time before the population can actually come back.
So massive damage, massive danger to everybody operating there. Why is the capture of Ramadi considered to be a turning point?
It's a turning point because it is the capital of Al-Anbar province. It was the third city in Iraq. Now, of course, there's no population there anymore, but it was the third city in Iraq. And it's also making everyone think. It's been a long campaign. It's been months because the army had to surround the city and then eventually make a big push to enter it. And the anti-terrorist unit that you saw at the beginning of that report played a very key role in that part. But what it's also done is that it's really changed the tides. It's the first major defeat of the Islamic State organization in the face of the Iraqi army and Sunni volunteers, and that is making a big difference because the Sunni sheikhs, the heads of the big tribes in Al-Anbar province, are now starting to see that backing the Islamic State organization is not a very good idea. Now, a lot of them didn't do it, but the ones who did are now trying to get out of that position, to get back with the government, and that's going to make a big difference.
What you just said illustrates how complicated and difficult this situation really is. Now, Daesh, as some people call the Islamic State group, defeated, weakened, but not finished.
It's only the very beginning of its weakening. It is the first time that they have a real defeat on the ground facing, as I was saying, the Iraqi army and Sunni forces. It's a first step, but it's a very important one because this is the end of them just winning and winning and winning. And that, of course, is making a big difference. And as I was telling you, all this political negotiation that's going on behind the scenes, how the Sunni is going to be considered in tomorrow's Iraq, who's going to run Ramadi, all that is going to send signals that might just manage to unbalance Islamic State and make it disappear from Iraq. But that's going to take a lot of time.
So what happens in Ramadi today could reflect how it all develops tomorrow.
It could indeed.
James, thank you very much indeed for your analysis. James Andre, you can see, of course, James's report again via our website, france24.com. This is Reporters on France 24. Stay with us.